Peace to everyone. Someone looks you in the eye and says, "Trust me." What's your gut reaction? If it's a close friend of 20 years, you relax. But if it's a stranger, you're on the street, your guards go up instantly. Why? Because trust is built on a foundation of knowledge. Today, we're looking at why so many of us struggle to trust God. We say the words, but our hearts stay anxious. The secret we're exploring today is simple. You cannot surely trust someone you do not know. If God feels like a stranger to you, trust will always feel like a burden. But if you know His character, trust becomes as natural as breathing. In our everyday lives, we have two reactions to the call for trust. Yes, I will, or why should I? God is asking you and me to trust Him today. And He isn't offended by the question, why? In fact, He's given us an entire book to answer it. Look at Numbers 23:19. God is not human that He should lie, not a human being that He should change His mind. This is the first pillar of trust. Humans lie to protect themselves. Humans change their minds because they get tired or scared. But God is outside of those limitations. He doesn't just speak. He acts. He doesn't just promise. He fulfills. Imagine you're standing at the foot of a massive bridge. You see the blueprints, but you don't understand engineering. To you, the steel beams look thin, and the height looks terrifying. You're afraid to cross. But then the lead architect walks up. He shows you the stress tests. He shows you the history of every other bridge he's built, none of which have ever buckled. Suddenly, your fear doesn't come from the bridge being weak. It comes from your lack of understanding the architect. Once you see his track record, the fear evaporates. This is what Isaiah 14:24 tells us. Surely, as I have planned, so it will be. God's plans are the blueprints. They are perfect, holy, and righteous. God says, I will not violate my covenant or alter what my lips have uttered. Think about that. We live in a world of fine print and expired contracts. But God's word is a sealed covenant. Unlike us, He has the power to bring to pass exactly what He purposes. This leads us to the verse we often quote but rarely feel. Romans 8:28. He works all things together for good. This doesn't mean every event is good in isolation. Suffering is real. But it means the master weaver is taking the dark threads of your life and the bright threads and making a masterpiece. If you know the weaver's heart, you can trust the loom. If you're a logical person, you want evidence. 1 Kings 8:56 is the checkmate verse for doubt. It says, "Not one word has failed of all the good promises He gave." From the parting of the Red Sea to the resurrection of Christ, history is littered with God's receipts. Every Christian watching this has a personal testimony. Maybe it was a bill paid at the last second or a peace that came during a funeral. These aren't coincidences, they are fulfillments. As Ephesians 2 reminds us, we are His handiwork. He prepared the path before you even stepped onto it. Let's be brutally honest for a moment. If you don't trust God, who are you trusting? Yourself? Are you always right? Do you never make choices based on a bad mood or a lack of information? Or are you trusting the world, an unpredictable, shifting culture? When you lay it out side by side, trusting in a sinful, limited human, including yourself, is the irrational choice. Trusting the all-wise Creator is the only sensible path. The only reason we choose the irrational path is because we treat God like a stranger. So how do we end the anxiety? Philippians 4 tells us the method. Prayer, petition, and thanksgiving. When you thank God, you are essentially reciting his track record back to him. You are reminding yourself of who he is, and the result, a peace that transcends all understanding. It doesn't make sense to be peaceful in a crisis, yet there it is, guarding your heart like a soldier. To know God is to trust him. If your trust is shaking today, don't try to force more faith. Just go get to know him. Open the word, see what he's done, and you'll find that trusting him isn't a struggle. It's a homecoming. Thank you for watching. It is all about Jesus.